is up, DigiNerds? It's your boy Inferno here. This is my podcast. You know what it is, guys. Everyone come in. Everyone, come on. Tell me your names. What's here? Come on.
What's up? Chris
your
is
boy
here.
David.
Can't forget Tyler.
And it's another week of Digimon.
Another week of everyone here.
Hopefully Tyler's mic doesn't cut out on us again like last week.
Yeah, I know.
Hopefully.
Well, no, we knew that he was breaking out, but when me and him listened back to it, we had no idea that like half of the podcast he was talking and we just never heard any of it.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Wow. But
Big sad.
let's get started with locals. So Dante and I did not participate anywhere for locals this week. I was out with family.
Lame.
Dante was just being lazy. And leave it up to Tyler and Chris for locals this week.
All right, I'll go first since Tyler did way better than me. At first, I want to say I did see on our Discord for our usual locals that it looked like a lot of people showed up. So I'm glad about that we still can have a crowd if we're not there, you know. But me and Tyler went to Pensacola Friday because we had to work Saturday. Sad. So I played Crosstalk because Dante had been talking about playing it last week, and it just reminded me how much I love it, and I think it's fun. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get my butt kicked, but I'm going to have a fun night. So I played Crossheart, and I got my butt kicked. I went 1-2-1. First game, I played against Jason, our Jason. He actually had met us over that way.
Oh, really?
And he was playing Vaccine, and I 2-0'd him, which he has said that Dante had beat him last week with it too, with the Crossheart too. So I guess that it's just Crossheart's just really good against Vaccine. Because I mean, it is, you know, really fast as long as you find your pieces. And if he had any of the I'm blanking the Blast Digivolve guys, the Aces, I could just delete them and gain a bunch of memory to keep doing moves. So I could see it being a bad matchup. So I got that one. That was my one win of the night. And then I played.
I think the biggest thing is probably that when your stuff dies, you get to just save it.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, but that didn't stop me from getting my butt kicked the rest of the night. So, like,
yeah.
It's just I think it just has a good match against going into Vaccine, which is cool. Because I feel like it has an auto loss to Davis because you're swinging like so much at things less than level 5, so a Zulong can just bounce them, and the Zukai can just kill them and stuff like that. But so then after that, I played Brandon from over there that's on the DigiSean channel, and he was playing Gabu Bond. I got game 1 off. I just came out really hot and really fast, but game 2. He established a Joe and Sora, and then every time he swung, he just stripped my sources. So now I was saving nothing, and that pretty much killed me. And once he realized that was like a thing, he like played that turn 1 of the second game. He was just like this and Joe and Sora, and I was like, dang. And then the game 3, I also kind of bricked. It was like a medium brick. Like I had a great opening hand, Sparrowmon Jeremy, and then I proceeded to just draw Sparrowmon after Sparrowmon, and then so it got to the point where I had Jeremy on the field with 3 Sparrowmons under him and another one in my hand, and Jeremy you can't even use him to digicross. So like, it was just worthless. I was like, okay. And then game 3, I played security control. That was just annoying. Of course, it's security control. But the biggest thing was he would go into Shadow Seraphi. So when you're digicrossing with this deck, no matter what guy you go into, your top dude underneath him has to be Shoutmon. So you just swing after the first check, Shadow Seraphi de-digivolves you, and you're just actually checking with a 2K rookie. So you die. And then the Shoutmon saves, but he doesn't have material saves, so all the rest of the stuff in whatever stack you just built goes to the trash.
That hurt.
He got game 1, and then we went to time in game 2. I actually was about to win. But we would have just ended up going to game 3. And we were, there was no time. That's security controls super slow. And then game 4, I got to do a really cool throwback Digicross battle, and it was against Bogger Army. And then we tied. We won 1, and then we were in game 3. And I think, I wasn't, about to swing for game or anything, but I definitely had the upper hand. Had we had more time, I think I would have gotten it. Mm-hmm. But we ended up going to time, so that was my draw. And like I said, it wasn't a great performance night, but I had a lot of fun playing this deck. It's just a fun one.
So,
and that was my thing.
So, how do you feel about the Crossheart deck, overall?
It's not great. Aside from being fast, there's just a lot of things in this current format that it can't deal with. It doesn't have a lot of deletion power unless you go into the level 6s or 7s, which you have to have a lot of pieces to do, unless you want to pay a ton of memory. And I feel like in the current format, you have to be able to delete level 4s and 5s on a whim to make sure you don't get aced. And this deck definitely cannot do that.
So how was your experience, Tyler? How did you do?
So I took home first place. I got the prize packages, the little cards instead of the store credit.
What were you playing?
I was playing Lugumon. So in round 1, we actually went to time. It was Lugumon versus Davis. And I was playing against Pensacola Chris on the DigiSean channel. Pretty much our entire game 1 went to time with just, I think I ended up winning in turns on my last turn. If I didn't win in that moment, it was just a tie. He was really good at outing my board once it went back to his turn, just between attacking into stuff and what he chose to blast Digivolve into, and how he used his counter timing to mitigate my board state. At the end of the day, I think it was just a lot of pressure that the Lugumon deck is able to push. I know that I went into 2 Chimeramons on that turn. So we were just rolling with the nuts here.
Yeah.
Round 2, it was versus I want to say it was Solar with the Hunter's deck. He's really good with that deck. That deck won me my first locals at GNG, and I'd have to say that I think he's better with the deck than I was then.
Every time we've ever gone over there, that's what he's playing though. So he's definitely a long time committed Hunters player.
Oh yeah, I get the feeling. I feel like I'm going to be playing Lugumon for a good minute in the future. But
I'm sick of it.
but that one I took it to. I'll go ahead and say 2-1. It's really just a race here because once I delete his pieces, they just go underneath his tamer, and then he just uses it to digivolve them in the future. But I still need to delete the pieces because if I don't, he's just going to use them to apply pressure later. All right. So I really just need to open up with my nuts, my Hellugermons. And I recently teched in 2 rivals barrages, and those were also pretty useful. But the main thing with the Lugamon deck is that you don't actually have to combo out to win the game. You just come up, you do your combo, and even if you pass turn and you did a couple checks, they have to have the out to your board. Like they just have to either beat you or clear your board that turn, or you're gonna take it.
Yeah, it's a lot of bodies laying there.
Right.
Oh, we having all these nuts. And we're friendly show. Awesome.
I gotta
Well-
pause in those times.
Tyler's always got these nuts.
They're like, my boy. No, but I was just saying.
Oh.
I will say, a lot of like most decks. It's in general any good deck in Digimon right now. It's just one of those things that like I think Digimon is all about right now. Is like you push up, and once you hit your combo, and then the opponent has to respond to your board state, or they're just winning. And I feel like that's what kind of what the game is. Although with the introduction of like Nightamon, X Antibody, that's the right one, right? Yeah, and
Yeah.
the bunnies decks where these are a little bit slower decks where they don't kill you in one turn, but they're like they deal with your board and they sit there. It's going to definitely slow down the meta, but like the meta has definitely been push up, do a combo, and then do you have an answer? If you don't, goodbye.
And
Yeah.
you know, Davis might even be like a prototype for that deck because they're not really all that fast. You know, their red guys can give them some speed, but they're normally leaning into the black or the green because Mega Gargo is so good. But they're able to put this one big guy that just sits there on the board. He's really tough to remove, and he can just wipe the board every turn.
Mm-hmm. Rude.
So round 3, I played Pensacola Brandon, and he was running Gabu Bond. He was going undefeated up until that point. The Gabu Bond deck is really good, and he's got this really cool tech where he's running. I can't remember which Vidramon it is, but he's running a Vidramon, and it comes. He slides up and he swings. And I think it's if I don't have a Digimon with Digivolution sources, he just unsuspends. So if I have an empty board, you know, like Lugamon does, or if I only dropped a Tyrannomon or a Fangmon or something to move pieces around, that Vidramon's going to get that unsuspend. So he's putting on some crazy pressure really early with that. And he's also got this Gisomon, which is the white squid thing. It's a champion. Basically, it just bounces stuff with no Digivolution sources. So he combos that with the Joe and Sora. He can bounce an ultimate. And I think there was one moment that came up. I think I ended up with a Soul Luger in that game 1. And he was able to just bounce it because I was bricking really hard and I wasn't able to get even the combo to perform. Turn 1, I open up with an Analog Youth and with a Lugamon, and I'm feeling really great right now. So then I Digivolve into the Lugamon, and I draw a champion, and I'm like, okay, cool. So then I play the Analog Youth, and 3 missed memory boost come off the top of my deck.
That's a great analog use. That was the hero of the
best
day.
Analog Youth I've ever heard Tyler say he's had.
True.
I know.
It just proves
I
that he's
wish-
no longer cheating.
It makes me wish that like his analog use worked that good when he was playing against me.
Same.
But zero value. Wait, what'd you say, Dante?
You heard me.
I think I've beat you on camera.
You catch
So
your hands.
run that back.
Catch these hands, son.
Come get the smoke.
Yeah.
But let's see. And then the last round I did the mirror match. It was my first time ever playing the mirror match.
Hang on, before you go into that one, I just want to say, going back to the Digimon you were talking about, that one is actually simpler to unsuspend than having Digimon with no Digivolutions. It just says, when attacking once per turn, if your opponent, if you have a tamer, unsuspend.
Oh my god! So he's able to. Okay,
because he used it against me too. And he was on the one of Bukamon, so he just double tapped me with jamming with it.
That's so gross.
Yeah.
With a champion, you just slid up and paid 2 memory, bro. And if you had the mat, because it's Gabubon, you only really paid 1 memory.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so nasty. That's so good.
Yep. All right, but that's all I wanted to say.
So in the last round, it was the mirror match. You know, it was a race. Round 1, I bricked again. I'm starting to get nervous. It's versus Ben. All right. So I'm sitting over here and I'm thinking, man, I really got to go with it round 2. So then he kills me round 1. Round 2, I open up, I do my play, and then it comes back to me turn 2, and I want to say I just slide up and I go to swinging and I threaten lethal, and I think I've left him with like a security, and it goes to him, and he doesn't out the board. I don't remember what he does, but he doesn't out the board, and then I'm able to just kill him. And then the second game goes pretty yeah. And then the third game goes pretty similarly, where I come up turn 2, and I do the full combo, but I'm not able to keep turn at all. I'm only able to do 2 checks, but that's okay because I shoot out the AG. I set up another training, and we're ready to roll next turn if he does out the board. But, you know, he doesn't, and we're able to just push for game there. And I think that my advantage in the last 2 was the same as my disadvantage in that first round, where I'm running the 4 missed memory boost. I noticed a bunch of people are running purple memory boost over that. And while I do understand that they don't enjoy the RNG of having to mill randomly off the top of your deck, I think it's pretty necessary to get those really early plays.
Yeah, because if you come up early but you haven't trashed anything yet, you can't play anything out.
That is true.
Yeah, if you can't play anything out, you can't delete anything really big. If you only have the Fenry, you can only delete a champion. So then it could stop you from getting aced, but you're also going to just not be able to because you didn't gain any memory from playing anything out.
Yeah. Well, that's if your opponent sets you to 1, like they are going to try to do. Like it matters because Lugamon's just going to do its whole thing with 1 memory anyway.
That's true. I think I technically need 3 because I do need a missed memory boost for a training.
Yeah.
But
and now if I've gotten to the point where like if I see you have that like back there, I just don't care. Like I'm going to do whatever I need to do because if I put him to 1, he's going to win anyway. So let me do the best play for me. But if you don't have a training or a memory boost, and I know you can't do it without that, then I'm like desperate to put you to 1. I'm like, I don't care if this card sucks. I'm playing it just to put you to 1.
Yeah, and you would know the play. I don't expect you to ever lose against somebody playing a Lugamon deck unless they just open with the nuts.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've only played it 5,364 times now.
It's only your favorite deck.
It's my favorite deck. Yeah, thanks. But yeah, that was the locals. Tyler is the champion at P-Cola for the weekend.
Cola.
P-Cola. Some people may call it Coca-Cola. Shout out to the real G's.
I'm more of a W guy, but okay.
You're a W guy?
Yeah.
That's funny because I always see you with a big L on your forehead.
Says you. Yeah.
Bro, did David just go silent or what? What's going on?
I think he's cutting out.
No, I'm still here.
David doesn't play Digimon, actually.
He just fell asleep because they're boring.
Yeah, I know.
He's tired of hearing our locals.
Yeah. What do you guys want to talk about next?
Well,
No, I think the next topic was Dante had the tier list he had ready for us.
Okay.
yeah, we can do a tier list, guys. Good old Digimon tier list. We are in. I was thinking. I mean.
Hold it up, Dante. While Dante that up, you guys, everyone, make sure to go read the Digimon Liberator comic because it is out in English. The first couple chapters.
Yeah, chapter 0 and chapter 1. It was not bad. I can say that it was not bad.
No, it wasn't bad at all.
Check it out tonight.
It was it is a little funny. The first match, they just like randomly start the guy, Kazuma. He just starts with 3 memory and plays a Muchomon that apparently has Rush.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yu-Gi-Oh rules.
Yeah, it was some Yu-Gi-Oh rules. Hopefully, like, I mean, I don't know if they just like had the girl do a turn and they just didn't show it to us because they definitely weren't showing us the full matches. But hopefully they get a little bit better about that as they go. But overall, it's pretty enjoyable, and I look forward to seeing more of it come out.
Well, I guess it's hard to make the full match in a comic form.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Reader
But
with
like,
every single play, but at the same time, you want it to be the card game.
yeah, exactly.
I don't know, man. Like, we've got mangas about Vanguard's done it for 10 years, and so's Yu-Gi-Oh. I think we just got to get that formula right, that format.
We shall see how it goes.
Let me know when
you got it pulled up.
See my screen.
I can see your screen.
All right,
It's loading.
This screen is also viewed by the stream as well. So, guys, if you are actually watching, if you usually just listen to the podcast, we actually have some visuals on the screen. So,
Heck yeah!
For the first time in forever.
There's
no, y'all done it one time before.
There we go. Presentation.
Heck
So is
yeah.
this for deck?
Yes, tier list. Let's just start off. Big ballin'.
Big ballin'.
Big ballin'.
Somewhat ballin'. This is tier 1.5. And then we got 3 ballin'. Tier 3, and then
I don't know, bro. I think
Small
free ball would be better than
ballin'.
somewhat ballin'.
Small ballin'.
no balls.
No ballin'.
No ball.
All right. So this is BT16. I'm I'm really
16.
bad with names. Yeah, 16. Upcoming meta.
I can definitely help you with that. Except for that first one, I have no idea what that is. I can't tell what it is.
Yeah,
Is
what
that
is that?
Garudamon X antibody?
I
I
have
can't
no
tell what
idea.
the card is.
Or Phoenixmon X antibody, I mean?
I'm really
Why
bad
don't we
with
start
names.
off with something that we know instead of that one?
Yeah, I'll look it up and figure out what that is. All right. So this looks like this is blue
That's
green
Imperial Dramon.
Imperial Dramon, guys. What do we think?
I think
We should probably.
Imperial Dramon is definitely going to be somewhat ballin'.
Yeah, I think it's going to be somewhat balling as well. I think it's going to be really
towards
good.
The top of it.
It's going to be really good, but I think it's still going to have the same issues that Imperial's always had, which is finding all your pieces to do the DNAs with.
That's true. I mean, even if
think-
you look at Japan's format, it didn't do the best. I mean, it did all right, but it wasn't like, anything super fantastic.
Yeah. I'm definitely excited
that-
to try it, but I definitely think that it's not big balling for sure.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'd even feel like with everything that you guys have said so far, it might even fit into free balling.
No, it's definitely gonna be good. They have upped the consistency on it, and some of the cards are just kind of nutty to kind of go along with theme. So, in that respect, it is going to be somewhat ballin', and I think it's going to be towards the top.
Yeah, we can I think it would be fun to revisit this after BT 17 or 16 once we know how everything plays. And see how right or wrong we were. But yeah, right now I would say somewhat balling.
And
this
that
one
next-
is Vikemon Ace.
Yeah, that's the. I was about to say
So
that's the Vikemon.
here's the question though. Are we saying that this is specifically for the Vikemon deck with Gomamon stuff?
Yes.
I believe so, yes.
Because Vikemon Aces is very techable. I think with the Gomamon stuff, it's probably free balling.
Yeah. It's free ball. It's good, but it's not anything meta changing.
It's not
Some of the cards
performing.
in it go in other decks that shape up the meta and change the meta a little bit, but the deck itself that it's designed for, and it's meh.
I agree.
That's it. All right. Next one. I have no idea what this is.
I can't see. It's green. Looks like I can't really tell.
It is. I think it's black.
Tyrant Kabuterimon.
Yeah, that's the
That's the-
Kabuteru.
That is.
That's
isn't
the
it? Yeah,
Kabuteru?
that's how.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I count it.
So yeah,
Isn't it supposed to be really good?
I'm gonna say it's gonna be like, okay, if Imperial Dramon's free balling, or I'm sorry, somewhat balling, I think it also goes in somewhat balling.
Really?
I hear a
Yeah.
lot of hype for this deck.
It did
Alright,
really
and I'm-
good in week 2.
Week 2 of what? What are you talking about?
JP meta.
So it only did good in 1 week?
No, it like did good week 2 onward.
I think
That's what I was-
that it's going to be free balling. You could put it above Vikemon, but I don't think that, because I mean, realistically, we're talking S tier and A tier, and I think that it's a B tier deck.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't think it's going to be somewhat balling. I think it
Like
is
if it is somewhat balling, it's going to be at the back end of somewhat balling.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
All right.
And that first card that you'd clicked on, Dante, after zooming in on it, it has a red border, so I do believe that it is the Phoenixmon X antibody.
Yeah, that's a Digivolve.
I think that's free balling.
Which one?
The Phoenixmon.
Phoenixmon? Free baller?
I think it's small balling.
I think that if you were to feel like it's small balling, you're on a little bit of copium. Because
I mean,
it'll put you off guard.
yeah, we haven't seen anything of it, but just reading the cards, it sounds kind of dumb.
I mean, I imagine it's plugging into the Garudamon deck.
Right?
Yeah, no, it's going to plug into the Garudamon deck, but I'm saying the X antibody itself, the Phoenixmon X Antibody card itself sounds stupid. Like stupid, like badass.
Yeah, I can agree with that, but the deck itself, you were talking about the deck, not just a card.
Yeah, no, I'm
how is
saying
that deck going to perform into the meta? I think it's going to be small balling. I don't think it's going to.
I think that it might be small balling before, but it is not small balling now.
No, well, I can. So here's the thing. Like right now, I feel like it's borderline between no balls and small balling. But I think that this and the other texts that are coming with it could take it definitely into small balling and maybe into free balling.
Okay. I mean, we could leave it at the very bottom of free balling for now until I'm proven right at the end of the format.
I said either or. I'm happy with either.
So
I'm fine with it at the bottom for now.
The real question is what's dividing a tier A and a tier B deck, like a tier 1 and tier 2 deck?
So
yeah, but David's talking about throwing it into tier C.
Yeah, I'm talking about putting it in tier C. I don't think it's that good. But I mean, between 1 and somewhat balling is technically tier 1.5. I think that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then tier 2 is free balling. So I mean,
free balling are decks that you think that we could still take to a regional, and if you got matched up good, you might do all right.
I think that you might be able to have fun, but I don't think that you're going to do great.
Tier 2 is always like possibly decent. That's what tier 2
rogue
is like.
decks that could potentially do well.
well,
They could potentially make top 32.
And or win, just depending on how good your matchups
just depending on your matchups. Yeah.
If we're saying that being in free balling, we think you might could top 32 at a regional, then I say put it in small balling.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to top 32.
Yeah, that's
now that we have that clear definition there, we can decide it is small balling.
And then somewhat balling is definitely top 32, and you're gonna see it in the top 16 decks. And then big balling is it's gonna be in the top 16, possibly win.
That's free balling that you're holding there, Dante. It's gonna be right there with Vicon. They're the same damn deck.
That new partition.
Yeah, they're essentially the same deck.
What's this?
I can't really tell.
Quit moving it.
I'm having a hard time looking at those cards.
Oh, that's the Dex Doragormon. I'm sorry, the Doragormon.
I think that's going to be the top. At the moment, I think that's top free balling.
That's I think that's going to be somewhat balling. I think it's going to be pretty nasty. I will say, David might be right that it could be near the top of free balling. But once BT17 comes around, it is definitely somewhat balling. It is performing right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. In 17, yeah, but we're talking about 16.
All right, so we just go top of free balling for now then.
Yeah, okay. I'm fine with that for sure.
Next.
What's the next one?
That looks like
Dark Dramon?
It does look like Dark Dramon. Small ball.
That's a Chaos Mon, I think.
Chaos Mon?
No, it's not.
Is that one, that new weird one that like you have to have a two color megas on the field to go into him?
No, that's one of the 2 color megas, I think.
That is Dr. Mon. You're correct. Better than that. Dr. Mon.
Oh, it's Dark Dramon?
Yeah.
So as in Digipolice?
Virus Cyborg. D-Brigade.
D-Brigade?
So we have 2 D-Brigade decks on there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's D-Brigade, but not Digipolice.
Yeah, this is not. Yeah, okay. There's no Digipolice, and this only happens.
No balls.
No balls.
No balls.
Damn.
If there's no Digipolice in it,
I don't think
balling.
so, man.
No
I think
balling.
you could run the old Rookie Rush style Commandramon D-Brigade deck with that and be small balling.
But that's
I
what we're
think-
saying. You're not
I
running
think-
that stuff.
Yeah, you're not running that. And if you do, then you're just going to, like, there's every deck now, like I was saying about Crossheart earlier, that it doesn't have. Every deck now that is really good has the ability to wipe at least level 4 lowers completely off the field every turn if they want to, so that they don't get aced. So if Rookie Rush just is not it right now. So if
Maybe
you
not
come,
every turn, but a decent
But the
when it needs to.
Gobobon,
When it needs to.
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
When it needs to.
Yeah, well, I mean, Gabubond is good against Digicross, but it's not good against decks that are gonna not let little guys swing. Davis should be beating it easy. Mirage beats it. Lugamon is gonna beat it. Like, there's just too many. As far as like being in the meta, I'm not saying Rookie Rush decks aren't fast and cool and fun, but as far as in the meta, I don't think that they can stand up.
I can agree
But
with
that's,
that.
I mean, that's my opinion. But
No, I definitely agree with that opinion.
I mean, I'm fine with small ball, and I was just being mean when I said no balls, but I definitely don't think that it's meta.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I don't think that it's meta at all, and it's not performing right now either.
So I mean, yeah, you can put it in small ball. And I was also being funny with it.
That's a no ball.
I'm fine with it. No ball.
Shroud
To be
Dramon.
honest.
What is that?
No ball.
Groundramon,
Groundramon.
no balls,
No
No
balls.
balls.
no balls. Why
No
the
balls.
hell? Why are they doing this to me with this damn Pulsemon stuff? They're like, bro, we're finally gonna give you some new Pulsemon support that doesn't support any of the old Pulsemon stuff. So you either just keep playing the Frankenstein deck that you built, or you play the new one, but you cannot play both. And then they were like, oh, and by the way, in 17, we're gonna give you a new boss monster that's just a side card for Lugamon.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, that was rude.
Like, what? They're doing Pulsemon fans dirty, and I don't like it. Now the deck may actually be okay, but I just have an internal hatred for what they've done to me.
So basically, from what I've seen, the deck is not okay at all. And then in 17, people build it and then just go into the Fenrir Lugamon Takumi Kazuchi mode.
Okay, so you're saying that this Shroudmon build is not very good, but in 17, the Lugamon version is decent.
The Shroud Mon, it's still the same deck in 17, but they just tack the Lugamon on top.
And that just makes it better.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, it sounds like you know a little bit about it. Tyler, tell us, does it go in no balls or small ball?
No balls.
No balls.
Okay. The next one is that new
Mallow
My-
Mayotismon, yeah.
Myotismon, yeah. So for it's gonna
I-
be just the Myotismon deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which isn't very good.
With the
But
tank.
this card is
I
kind
put
of
it
good,
in-
actually.
No, for
The
sure.
card itself is good,
Yeah.
but the deck
Small ball.
itself, I think we're no ball in here.
Dude, we
I put it in
watched
small ball.
we watched a match with somebody using it. Was that a card protagonist match? Or what was it?
yeah.
So
It was
the deck literally just loops the tamers and the Digimon from the trash, like, back and forth, but they don't have rush. So, like, I don't know what it's doing.
Dang.
And you're looping a
Just recovery.
Myotismon Ace.
Just for
Yeah,
coverage.
so you're looping Myotismon Ace, so then they just kill it and gain 3 memory. They're like, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Now, the next one, though. Big
the big
Uka.
Big Ugumon.
This,
I think he's gonna be probably small balling, like by himself. But I think that he could be a neat tech in Nuamon.
I think Ukamon. I think someone's going to create some crazy shit and make it someone ball. That's what I think.
I
I
could see that
wouldn't be
too.
surprised. I think it'll at least be free balling, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody does something crazy with it.
This deck, the Ukamon support is just ridiculous. And now that it has so much support, I mean, Jesus.
I just don't think that it's impactful enough because the meta, we're pushing against these rookie rush decks and slowing the meta down like that. And I think that this is really just going to be a tech in a deck for like Numamon that needs to recycle babies.
Yeah,
just stay in the game longer.
Any of these rookie rush decks are also just going to fucking auto lose as soon as somebody lays out the old version of the Magnemon X that's unlimited redirect.
Yeah. Infinite redirect. Yeah, that card.
Yeah, it's going to be like, swing 50 rookies at me, please.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we've come into. We've gotten into a format where it's a lot of, who can, get the fastest swings out there. And if you think of the decks that are doing that right now, they're doing it with a bunch of little bodies.
Yeah, but they do really well, except for when they play against decks that will not let them play, like Davis and Mirage and stuff like that, bouncing those little guys, and not letting them stay on the field because they're little and easy to get rid of.
Yep, I wholeheartedly agree.
So you gotta be so fast that you can finish the game before your opponent can get set up. Really, is what it comes down to with the rookie rush deck, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Although, again, I don't even think there's just so much. I don't even think like you just don't even need it. You don't need to even rookie rush, right? I think it allows for quick aggression. But at the end of the day, I mean, with the new Ukobon coming in for the extra search power, extra search and draw power, obviously, and then adding a big Ukobon with the ability to kind of keep going, and then slow your opponent down. You just throw in a good engine, and like that combines with this deck, and all of a sudden, like either another good engine that also moves very easily. Like, just imagine a world where like if like I'm just trying to think of something that's kind of ridiculous that doesn't revolve around tamers, or even if it does revolve around tamers. Who fucking cares? Because you're all the tamers go back to everybody's hand, which is very interesting. But
I mean, we're just making a guess on what we think it'll do. I think that just because we know people are creative and are gonna try to do stuff with this for sure, that it's at least safe at the very top of free balling.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let's keep on moving. Let's keep on trucking here. I'm not sure what the hell this is.
Trucking.
That's Rapidmon X.
Oh, we already know. We already know. No, we gotta talk about it. I don't think anybody arguing with Big Ballin'?
Because this is Rapidmon X, not Magnemon X. But I do think it's at the top. The question is it somewhat ballin' and definitely above Imperial Dramon, or is it big ballin'?
I agree with that.
I think it's somewhat ballin'.
I think it's somewhat ballin' at the top for sure.
It's definitely at the top of somewhat ballin', but it's not quite as ballin' as Magnemon X.
Agreed.
That's what I'm saying. Magnemon X is big ballin'.
When does Magnemon X come out?
This set.
It's literally.
Hold on. Wait.
Like,
there's two versions here. Because Rapidmon X is in the Green Bunnies deck, right? We could just say that this is Bunnies.
Yeah, I was thinking that this is the upgrade to Bunnies, and I thought that was why this was falling.
No, that's what it's ran in mostly.
Yeah. I mean, you can do a yellow vaccine version. You can do a yellow vaccine build, but look at it. We're talking about the Green Bunnies with Rapid X.
Yeah.
And then the very next one on the list is Magnemon X, which is going to be big ballin', obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, y'all wanted to put this in somewhat ballin'?
Yeah, at the top. At the top.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be consistently topping, but I don't think it's gonna be a It may not top 16 every time.
I think this next one is the Chaos
I
Mon.
think Big Ball in your top 16, it's going to be in the top 16 every time.
Yeah.
I think it would be. I think Bunny's already.
No, Bunnies is already really good. And this is here's the thing though. If you just took the Bunnies deck as it is, right? And you just add this card in, you're gonna have to take stuff out to make room for this, which means are we gonna run less aces? Because now the biggest strength of that green deck right now, you're gonna see less often. You know, it's gonna be there's gonna be a little bit of time of people trying to figure out the ratios before it really starts hitting, I think.
I can agree with that for sure.
I get.
He's reading it now.
That shit is wild. Anyway, but I think this card, yeah, I mean obviously best deck in format cycling.
I mean,
I can agree with that. That's
I mean, we can take a vote because I'm fine with it either way. I just think Somewhat Ballin' is right.
I agree with Somewhat Ballin'.
Tyler?
I also agree with Somewhat Ballin'.
Okay.
All right. Now Dante can just rub it in all of our faces if he ends up being right.
Yes. But Big Ballin', that is definitely for sure for Rapid X. No
He's also
yeah, Magnamon X, Big Ballin'.
For sure.
All right, next on the list.
He's also the one that actually controls this tier list here, so he could just dunk on us all and just put it in Big Ballin'.
He could.
He definitely could.
Asshole.
This next one is the Chaos Dramon. Or Chaos Mon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the one I was talking about. That like you need two color megas on the field to DNA.
I think we're small balling.
Small balling.
Yeah, I don't see that. Like, unless they come up with some cheap ass way to get them on the field, I don't see it.
Fair. Let's go to the next one. Blue red. What the fuck is that?
Is that the
No, that's the purple Imperial.
That's purple Imperial.
Okay, yeah, so that's gonna be bottom of free balling.
Yeah, I can second that. I'd put it maybe above the I'd put it right behind Tyrant Kabuteru, to be honest.
Okay.
Where?
Behind
in front of Ike. Yeah, in front of Ikeman.
No.
In front of the blue card. One more.
Yeah.
Right there.
Perfect.
All right, we have Valkyrie, am I right?
Top of free.
Big
top
ballin'.
Of free balling or top of free or bottom of Somewhat.
This is definitely Somewhat bottom. This is definitely in Somewhat bottom. I would say bottom.
I can see that at the bottom. I can see it at
Yeah,
the bottom.
The reason that I said top of free is because it is still technically almost the same deck as Vikemon and that other one. The only difference is the Valkyrie Mon is just so much better.
True.
Yeah.
It just that one is. It's just so good.
Yeah, and you can have
now,
red and yellow in there. I think it's going to be really good.
Oh,
I will give you this. I did just get really excited because I was thinking Big Ballin' because I'm putting it at the top of a Numemon deck, but
yeah, and y'all know my Goldramon build is gonna be like intricated in that. So like,
yeah,
it's just so splashable with so many things. I mean,
it is.
It's so good. Like, so yeah, I mean, really, really solid. Digivolve for 4 for a dual color isn't bad at all. Naturally, and then obviously just being a 7-drop, ace with.
Yeah.
I mean, like you could argue, like why you could almost argue no longer running like ruin mode in a lot of decks, just for the simple fact that you can it's a hard drop, and so now you don't have to have the required Digivolve. You don't have to Digivolve, right? You can run in almost anything. Every deck pretty much has access to ruin modes, depending on if they're able to if they're able to count. Not every red yellow deck essentially has access to a ruin mode. Like that's during their turn, and that's just wild. Like imagine you ruin mode. Oh, sorry. Oh wow.
that card is kind of wilding for sure, and we all know what that next card is. I guess it's. I don't know if it's. I've seen Jesmon GX played in some of the new versions of whatchamacallit,
The armor deck.
Yeah, the armor deck.
Yeah, but that's what the
I don't-
Magmon X up there is. So this is just going to be Jesmon.
Yeah.
Okay, if it's just Jesmon, then free balling all the way.
Year 2, you know,
Does anything new even come out for him
No.
in 16?
It's like it will use. It can use like the Vikebond, right? But
Yeah.
other than that, I mean, I think it's somewhat balling. I think just it's not a small ball. I'm sorry, it's just not. It hasn't been doing anything for a long time.
Yeah, it hasn't been doing anything. It's not getting anything new. Yeah, small balling.
Okay.
I vote small ball.
We'll just give the benefit of the doubt and being the veteran small baller. Now Blue Fair. Okay.
Top of big balling.
Top of big balling. Yeah. I think it's it's always good to understand like what's gonna be really in the meta. If the meta is stack decking, then Blue Flare is really, really sad. If it's wide, then Blue Flare is always a good contender.
I think we make a new tier underneath no balls just for Blue Flare.
No.
I can't put it in small balling. I think Magnamon really destroys Blue Flare, right?
So look, here's the thing. I think that Blue Flare is going to have its day again whenever the 7 Demon Lords come out. But in this coming format, from what I'm looking at that we have in Big Ballin' and Somewhat Ballin', I would accept putting it in Free Ballin'.
No, it's definitely still in Somewhat Ballin'. It's currently at the bottom of Somewhat Ballin', but it's in Somewhat Ballin'. It's a good deck.
I can't agree.
It's always going to be a good deck, and I love it. I'm just saying, like, a lot of these decks are going very big one stacks, and it doesn't like that.
Yeah.
But
at the same time, you got to think this Magnamon X Antibody deck. I mean, you're going to be able to stun it.
Yeah, and at the same, and also all of these decks underneath, or not all of them, but the Valkyriemon and the Imperialmon, if they partition, they're going to give me 2 bodies, not even trying.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying it's somewhat bottom. It's not free bottom.
Yeah, I can see. I could go bottom.
It's got some good matchups. Granted, and it's gonna have some hard matchups, but it's definitely a top contender. It's gonna be.
Blue Flare can always surprise you.
You're gonna see it in the top 16 every now and again.
All right, I'm not gonna argue because I love it. So Somewhat Ballin' is cool with me.
I can't see it as somewhat balling. I think it's free balling. It hasn't even been doing good in this format.
Yeah, that's what I
can't see 1.5. I can't say 1.5.
It still has been topping.
So I think that if we're gonna put it, if it goes in free balling, it goes at the very top of free balling, and then we also need to move the Dorugoramon deck next to it. If it goes in somewhat balling, I think that most of us can agree to put it at the bottom of somewhat balling.
I mean, I'm fine with top of free or bottom of somewhat. Either way.
I think you're on copium if it's in free balling, but that's just me.
Yeah, it is just you. I can't even find.
Yeah, but you have traumatic experience with it from running Royal Knights so long.
Again, I still just think it's a good deck.
You're preaching to the choir. It's like my favorite deck, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I'm gonna win a BT 16 regional with it. Looking at my competition and big balling and somewhat balling right here.
I mean, I can't even find the last time it won. I mean, even topped.
It topped recently.
It doesn't matter, bro. We're supposed to get new DigiCross stuff in 19, and then it's going to be king. So,
anyway.
Really? How you already know that?
We're gonna get.
What I heard through the grapevine, and by grapevine I mean Tyler.
It's gonna be the Cross Wars manga set.
Anyway, go ahead and put it up there, wherever you're gonna put it, and you can put Bloomlord right behind it.
Yeah, right behind it in small balling.
I believe.
I think that we do make a new tier for Bloomlord and put it at the bottom underneath no balls and just call it the troll tier.
If we make a troll tier, we just put Bloom Lord and security control, and then
And
we
Machine Drum
that's the toilet. That's the toilet tier, and then we can flush it when we're done with this list.
True.
Yeah.
Is this Mirage? No, this is All Force.
No, that's
That's all force.
All Force is
You can
always
put-
interesting. It's always an interesting deck. Would you put it in?
Does it get anything new though?
No,
I don't
small
think
ball.
so.
Yeah, small balling.
It's like
I
Probably the
think that
bottom.
I could see it in small balling because it takes a lot of player skill.
it's one of those decks that, like, when it pops off, it feels absolutely ridiculous to play against. But it's so hard to pop off.
Yeah.
This next deck, I'm definitely on board with putting it in its own tier by itself. Putting it in the Bandai, please kill this deck.
Is 16? Is 16 when we get the new purple
No.
stuff for it? No.
It's
Okay.
17.
So it's still gonna just be
don't-
the same deck as it is now.
Somewhat balling.
Yeah,
It's not big ball.
it does not deserve to be big balling though.
It's
Yeah,
gonna, you're
I'm-
gonna see it. It's gonna top every single time.
Okay.
Every single time.
Yeah, somewhat balling.
It's going to
What?
top 16 every single time.
Somewhat
How
balling.
many is it
No, that's
won?
big balling. What are you talking about?
It's gonna be somewhat balling. It is not big balling. It is not a big balling deck.
Yeah, I
This-
mean, I don't. So we need to. So I mean, if we're just gonna be like it's the best deck of the format is big ball, and then Magnemon's gonna be up there by itself. I agree with Dante. If we think this deck is gonna be in the top 16 in every single regional that gets posted, then it's big balling.
I think you're doing a disservice to this deck if you say that it gets not big balling when
It's somewhat balling.
it has
It's-
too much.
It's
All right.
definitely somewhat annoying.
Tiebreaker here. David, you're outvoted.
You
It
guys
goes
are
in
on
big
some
balling.
copium, and I'm gonna laugh at all of you.
Opium.
Okay.
How could this deck been
You're
so
gonna
good for so
cry in the
long?
corner by yourself.
You guys are on some copium. It is not big balling
Why don't you play it?
because it is not gonna. It's not gonna win. I can tell you, it's not gonna win this format. I'll call it right now. 0 wins.
It's not
Big
gonna
ballin'-
win this
yeah,
format because it
Big
never
ballin'
wins.
is
but it's
for
gonna
decks
top
that are going
50.
to top 16 and are more than likely going to win. This is
How
not
many-
one of
It's
those
going-
decks.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
but how
top
many-
15 in
Don't get me
every one
wrong.
of
It's
them.
gonna top, but it's not gonna win. I'm calling it now. It's not gonna win a single event.
Who cares
Does
if
it
it
ever,
wins?
though?
But that's
It
what I'm saying.
never-
It's not a big ballin' deck. If it's in big ballin', it's gonna at least get one win. It's gonna
Yeah,
more than
I
likely
guess.
win.
No, I mean,
I don't
can
see it
what you're
winning.
saying.
It
It's
gotta
gonna
win.
be
It
good,
gotta
but
win the
it's not
format we're in
gonna
right
win.
now.
Huh?
So they gotta win the
Ooh.
format we're in right now.
I know.
Ooh.
I didn't say anything about the format we're in right now. I'm saying this upcoming format.
I think the
Ooh.
sheer number of players that play the deck, the
It's gonna drop.
sheer number, and then as
gonna
well
drop.
as no, I don't think. I think people have
The
said that
number
like
of players is gonna
every regional, and now that you added an Ukamon that searches tamers. I don't know how this deck gets worse. Like I can't. I wouldn't be able to tell you. Like
It's somewhat ballin'.
and then you add
It is
Valkyriemon
at
Ace
the top
to
of somewhat ball.
Oh, don't say that.
it. Yeah, no, you get to add Valkyriemon Ace to it now. Like I don't understand how you can say that this isn't going to top.
Actually, I can't even say it's at the top. It's behind the Rapid X because I think that deck's gonna beat it.
My man is on copium. Anyway,
I'm not on copium.
next one.
It's not gonna win. You got it. It's not gonna win a single event, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not winning a single event. It'll top, and that's why it should be in somewhat balling, but it's not gonna win.
I think if you can say a deck, or so are you saying a deck that can consistently top 16 doesn't have a chance of winning? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, I'm just saying it's not going to.
But you're saying that it has a chance to top 16 every single time.
Yes,
How does that make
I
any
just
sense?
it has a chance. I'm not saying
How does that make any
it
sense?
will. I'm saying it has a chance.
I just want a clarification on like, is big ballin' it wins every event or
No.
top 16s every event?
So big ballin' is it. It's more than likely you're going to see it in the top 16 almost every single time, and it can more than likely win the event.
Okay.
I think it goes in big
Somewhat
ball.
ballin' is you're going to see it in top 16, but it may not top 16 every time, but still also has a small chance of winning.
think it's wild.
I think what we're looking at is good then.
Yeah. Okay. I
don't see
think
how you
you're on
couldn't say this
Scopium. It's
isn't
not gonna win.
enough to win.
I don't think so.
But,
I don't think it's
Gallimon won a regional. I don't know. I feel like anyway.
Yeah, Gallimon won.
What's the thing? It's
Wargrave, right?
People be trying to play this deck. Is it going to? Would you say somewhat balling?
Yeah, bottom.
I'd say it's the bottom of somewhat, maybe somewhere in
it's
three.
deck.
People are
It's
doing some
not-
crazy shit where that thing like swings 4 checks. So yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. Now it is it's a bricky deck. I will say that much.
Yeah, but Greymon just has so much support, and it's never gonna die. And you can put Valkyriemon at the top of this deck now.
Yeah, it's just one thing. I would say either somewhat balling. I kind of want to put it behind, like in the tier of free balling, maybe ahead of like Bloom Lord, right behind Metal Greymon. Because I think it is a good deck. I think if it high rolls, it's really hard to play against. But if it bricks, like you just don't get to play the game ever. Like never ever. Like there's no chance coming back against a lot of these other decks. But I don't know. I think it's interesting. Does the best deck, does this like stay unsuspended? Does Dynamite X anybody? Does it suspend or does it stay unsuspended?
When?
It suspends.
It suspends itself and it does a
What?
blocker.
Yeah, because I know that you're talking about raiding into it, but like it doesn't even matter because if they're suspended, you don't have to raid. You just ram into their ass.
Well, that's what the
it
power
does
of Wargrave is. Yeah, power of Wargrave is unsuspending when raiding.
Yeah, he can when he raids when an attack target is switched, he can unsuspend.
I understand that, but I'm just saying if we're talking about like, can we get this damn Magnamon off the board?
Yeah.
No, he was just wondering if you could raid into it.
Yeah, cause I think that makes the matchup really good if it forces them to always stay unsuspended. Because if you get that extra raid, I mean, it's so much damage. That's like an attack for the turn at like 3 checks is wild. With piercing already, so yeah, I can see somewhat balling. It hasn't been doing much, but I can see somewhat balling. I can definitely see it in free balling though.
Hunters, I think is free balling.
Yeah. And at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad deck, but it's not great.
It hasn't been performing, and I don't think it's going to start again.
Yeah,
I think we can put it.
I'm sorry.
I think we can put it near Old Force.
No force.
I just think it doesn't have the representation. I think and it also hasn't got any support, and it's not.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think that it's
reason.
bottom of free ball, and I think it's still really good.
I agree.
I just
think
like I agree with David that not a lot of people are playing it, but even the ones that are, like, it has good matchups, but it also has some bad ones this format. So I don't think that it's gonna be. Like I said, we haven't been seeing it, and I don't think we're gonna start seeing it next format.
I agree.
Yeah, and it's really weird because like when you think of like the deck,
good enough matchups.
It has great effects. Like it has great effects, as access to great cards like Quartzbond and I mean, just thinking about like what the more aces that come to the game, the better like the Astromon is, the Restoron is, right? Because I mean, if they're putting on top of things anyway, so like anytime you're playing a deck that digivolves on top of ace, it's free value. But I definitely you would think it'd be better. I just don't understand why it's bad. Maybe it is because people just aren't playing it, but
I'd put it at the top of bottom of free balling. Yeah, I'd leave it there, and then you can put Cross Heart and No Balls.
Hey, yo,
dang! You gotta put Cross Heart in small balling just because it's fun to play.
It is fun to play. I'll give you that. It is a lot of fun.
I feel like Cross Heart is like I think you can't say like GX and Cross Heart.
Yeah, no,
I'm
just messing. I'm just messing with
now
you.
this right here. There we go.
No.
What is that, Royal Knight?
Yeah, that's Royal Knights.
I'd
put it in free balling.
Deck's definitely a picture deck. Unfortunately,
I'd put it in free balling.
Yeah,
I'd put it above. I wouldn't put it at the bottom, but I'd put it in free balling. I'd put it in the middle.
I just don't know. I don't know how good these decks are comparatively to the meta. Royal Knight's okay. It's
I would put it behind Big Uka.
he said that because he had the max rarity guy. That's all it is. That's all
I
it
put
is.
it there.
Yeah,
Where I'd put it.
no, I mean Royal Knights is still good. It had some bad matchups this format. I think most of the
bad matchups. Yeah.
yeah, and
I think that's actually a really good spot because the Doragoromon has collision, which can just force the Royal Knights to block every turn. But the Tyrant Kabuterimon just kind of chills there sideways and I believe he's unaffected by stuff.
yeah, he's unaffected while he's sideways, and they can't attack into him. So he would like that deck would really be annoying to early game Royal Knights.
This is rough.
Shine burst mode.
I think Shine. Look at the.
I think it's a
reports.
Actually, yeah, I see that. I can see that.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that placement.
Yeah,
I still think that deck is like 90% luck, but when it does pop off, I can agree with that placement.
True.
Mirage.
Big ballin'. Because it's going to continue to beat all the decks that it is beating, and I don't see any really issues why it shouldn't beat half of these other ones that have just popped up.
I agree.
Yeah, no, if Shine makes it to somewhat ballin', I could see that in big ballin'.
Rosemon.
But I think that if it goes to big ballin', I think that the Rapidmon should maybe go to big ballin' too.
Interesting.
What do you think, David? I think that it's fine where it's at.
I think it's fine where it's at.
Yeah, I'm still not. I think Rapidmon. I was always a part of Rapidmon being in big ball, and so that's all. That's all I gotta say.
The reason being is because the level 5 can't be removed.
No, I agree that the green deck is amazing. Like I would grab the one that I have built and play it for a tournament, like without any gripes. I think that it's a winnable deck. I just don't. I know that it's not like going to be as good as the Magnamon, and it's definitely not currently winning like Mirage is. So I'm fine with either, but I do think that if it goes up, it needs to just be at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
But I think that it's fine where it's at, honestly.
Yeah, I'm fine with where it's at. Alphamon, small ballin', right in front of
I think
Force. Yeah.
I feel like Alphamon's like a deck that like a lot of decks that lower tier decks just can't beat. They have no way. It has enough protection and it has enough like Digivolve and stuff like that lower decks just don't have a chance.
Yeah.
My man just snuck Rosemon into no balls.
Yeah, it did sneak it in there. It definitely should
and none
be
of us said
below,
anything.
Old Force, but I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care, but I
care,
do
but
think
it should be below Old Force.
Right here.
Yeah.
Belfay,
you can put it in.
Somewhat balling.
I'd put it at the top of free balling.
I think Belfay is good enough. Like if more people play it, it's just one of those decks that like what do you really do? Like, what's the best answer to the deck? Belfay, by right?
Okay, but we haven't seen
To
it
block it with a fully
this
powered up
format,
Magnamon X.
and I don't see it changing much next format. I think it's top of free balling.
I think that people
sneak. It would take a really good player for it to sneak into the top 16.
Yeah, I mean, one of them,
and that's why I'm saying it would be free balling.
Yeah, I agree.
The top of free balling.
Free balling, but I do agree that this deck has untapped potential right now because I feel like
I agree.
After the format, when the Osmons got limited, I feel like everybody just threw it in a corner and forgot about it. Like the Osmon was the reason that it was so badass, and I don't think that was the case.
I
agree with Chris on this one.
I agree, and that's why I would put it at the top of free balling.
Yeah, I will say this is my super pick for the format. Like this is my, I think
sleeper pick.
Yeah, I think if you are going to play a deck that is not a big meta deck, and you want to get your regional top, I'm personally saying Belfamon is that deck. That's just my thing.
I'm saying I'm saying that it has the potential, absolutely. But as far as what we're expecting to see overall, I don't think it's somewhat balling.
I agree. I think it's free balling. I think it's a really good rogue pick, and that's why it would go into free balling, and it would take a really good pilot for it to get into the top 16.
I'm saying that I believe that it is somewhat balling, but because nobody's going to play it, we're never going to see it. So you might as well put it in free balling.
I can see that. And my reasoning, and just listen to my reasoning. So with the bringing up of all these level 5s, as well as what Mega Gargamon, let's think about the best cards on some of the best decks that we see. You're going to see. You look at Devas, Bunnies, and any of the Rapamon decks that sit on level 4s and 5s. This is a menace. It just is.
But the level 5 cannot be deleted.
Well, I think there's one level 5 that can't be deleted, right? There's that one, and then when it swings, what is this? When it swings, the Rapamon can't. You can digivolve to it, sure, but like it can't block it. It's not going to block it. What is it? It can't deal with it. Like
Okay. So what's going to happen though is, all right, I know you're about to if I know the Belfie match now. Here's where the Belfie's going to have the advantage because nobody's fucking playing it. Nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to remember from 3 sets ago when the perfect timing is for this. But if you know the Belfie match and you perfectly timed playing out the level 5 where he couldn't delete it, when the Belfie swings, you would Mega Garga ace him, all right? You would just let the first 2 checks go through, but you would shut him down. He wouldn't be able to unsuspend or check anymore, and he would just be stuck like that. He can't digivolve, he can't unsuspend, so he's not going to be able to go back into sleep mode, and he's going to be yours to do whatever you want with when it comes back to your turn.
Exactly.
Yeah, and again, my thing was like it's that like that. Although that one card, that one 4 of right, that's the only one that has complete protection for being deleted. Is the one they have to have, right? And that's like cool. I think you have your out to that specific one card. And I'm like, I think that's cool. But like everything else, right? They're gonna pop everything else, and they have to they have to deal with it on their turn. Somehow. Because it's not the Belfamon should be bigger than that 12K one, right? If I remember correctly.
Because the Belfamon will be bigger when he's swinging because he swings 17. Mm-hmm. But when it's back to your turn, I think he's only 13 or 14. And as long as you're on top of some inheriteds with the Mega Gargamon, every single one of the inherited say when this Digimon's sideways, it gets plus 1K. So he's going to be swinging at 14 or 15 himself.
You don't think that? I think they average 13. I think they average one of those, right? Because I think the first one, if you're on top of that Rapamon that can't be deleted, I believe that's the one that is the delete one by battle, right? It trashes top security, something like that.
Yeah.
So I think that you only get one plus 3K. I mean plus 1K, right? But either way, I can understand. I didn't think again. This is my super deck. I might just bring this.
Again, I think it's a sleeper deck, and that's why it's in free balling.
I think it's mine.
Because we're talking about somewhat ballins we're going to see in the top 16s a lot. I agree that this can get there. I just don't believe that we're going to see it there.
I agree.
Definitely not every time.
No.
Hell yeah. All facts, no cap. No, let me before we place this legitimately, is that new Falcomon that they've shown coming out anytime soon or no?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Then I would say I think this deck's still just as good as Hunters. I think the only problem with this deck is a lot of people. I think that this deck is actually really good. I have it built, and I think that it's a really good deck. It just has a weakness to the can't play Digimon by effects guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because once your Ravemon dies, you're supposed to play him back at the end of your opponent's turn. But if they just put out one of those rookies, you can't, and it kind of shuts you down. But if you don't see one of those rookies, this deck can really pop off and hurt somebody. So I don't. It's definitely not no balls. It's and the burst mode's still really good. I would say, I mean, top of small balling, I guess. I think
it's good where it's at.
I think it's just as good or better than Hunters, personally, to me still, but I just think nobody plays it because it is the worst burst mode. Like, even I don't think the deck's the worst burst mode deck. I think we can give that to Rosemon, but the Rosemon burst mode itself, the card, is definitely Ravemon burst mode.
All I have to say is that this wasn't doing anything when it first came out. And,
With Hunters.
And with Hunters, when Hunters was one of the best Access format. I think if you're holding them up, I mean, it just can't. Like,
no, I mean, I can agree that, like, if we're looking at past metas and stuff, that Hunters has performed better. I just, if it was me and I had to take one of the two to a tournament, I would take Ravemon, but that's just my personal preference on gameplay, probably. I think that it's fine. I think it's fine in small balling for now, but I do think that new Falcomon is going to help a lot whenever the hell that comes out.
All right,
Brigade?
D-Brigade. Yeah,
D-Brigade's really good.
I think it's
Let's go.
Either bottom of somewhat or top of free balling.
I think it's a free baller.
It's a
I
free
think
baller.
it's a free baller.
Okay, free baller it is.
Like right here.
You think it's right there? I think it's better than Bloom.
I could see that.
I think it's better than Bloom.
No. No.
It's definitely better than Bloom.
Bloom Quartz plus Quantumon is just ridiculous. Like, just ridiculous.
No, I know.
Set of cards.
But
and it pops off way harder than D-Brigade can. Like, Bloom can, like,
You can still Quartz
Pop,
and
pop, pop,
Quantumon in D-Brigade.
but you don't
Facts.
do it, right?
Yeah.
You don't, right? It's not searchable like it is. And
A
Bloom.
lot of people do Quartz.
But you can, it's searchable. Like, you can find it. You see it, you grab it.
I don't personally Quartz because I just feel like I've already beaten you by the time I would ever need to.
That's fair.
All I hear is that it's better
Hey,
than
I
Blue.
think it's about right there. It doesn't matter.
Bloom.
One deck.
No, it's fine. I mean, it's fine there or above Bloom Lord. I don't care.
We're at big ballin', baby.
All right, so now we're on the Phoenix.
Somewhat balling. Let's put it. I think we have to put it like here, right? Maybe
Yeah.
Here.
It's
like
I think
it's up there. Definitely.
Ooh.
I think if Red
I think
Hybrid makes it to
fine.
big ballin', we can put Luga in big ballin'.
I don't think that because
I don't think
Lugamon
that
is
at all.
not topping in every regional.
I also don't think Red Hybrid
Right
should be
now.
Yeah.
We're about to get a bunch of tools. We're about to get a whole new option card. We're about to get this whole Dino Beamon. We're about to get the Sethmon. We're about to get the Ukamon that
You're
searches.
also getting another Soul Lugar.
We're getting a whole new Soul Luger.
You're getting a whole new Hell Luger that's trash that nobody's going to use. You're getting a whole new
You
Soul
notice
Luger.
I didn't mention that.
You're getting a whole new Soul Luger that deletes the only Digimon they have on the field, so then you don't have a Digimon to unsuspend with when you go Fenry anymore.
No,
oops.
it only deletes for like 6K.
Yeah, okay, so it's either not going to work at all, or they only had a little guy over there, and you're going to be like, fuck, like now I can't unsuspend an extra time. So I just don't think you use, like personally, I just don't think you use him either. The Dino Beamon's cool because you can grab him with a training card, but it's not really doing anything that the white DNA guy you're already using does.
Hold on, because when you DNA into him, he plays out. If another Dino Beamon's in your trash, he'll play out the other Dino Beamon. If a Sethmon's in your trash, he'll play out the Sethmon. If the Ukamon's in your trash, he'll play out the Ukamon, and then he'll give anything on your board rush.
Okay, so he gets 2 swings, but the Chimeramon already grabbed the level 5, put it under him, so he could unsuspend again. So he was getting 2 swings.
He gives 1 Digimon Rush.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
A Digimon Rush.
Going to get 2 swings. Chimeramon was already getting 2 swings. The option
No. He gets 2 bodies, which is different from 2 swings. All right, because if you have 2 swings on one body, you can die in a check.
The difference is, I mean, sure, but like I'm saying, overall, these new cards. First off, the red purple split new cards are not even for this deck. They're for the Fenry Lugamon Kazuchimon thing that's coming out in 17.
Yeah,
So everything else that you're saying, I'm not saying that it's going to hurt the deck. I definitely think that it's going to help, and it's going to be nice text that make it a little better, a little bit more consistent, especially, like I said, with the trainings, being able to find the Dino B. But I don't think that it's going to take this deck from being top 16 in a regional once in a while to every single time.
Yeah.
I think that we are
think
going to
the
see it a little
Imperial
more
Dramon-
often.
I think Imperial Dramon's better than it.
Ooh.
Imperial Dramon's really good this format. It's gonna have some small consistency issues, but it's gonna be really good.
Mm.
And it's gonna be able to deal with a lot of problems.
I don't know, man.
I also personally think the option card sucks. Like, I would just still keep running mists and trainings over it. So, I mean, what are we leaving it where it's at? I'm fine with where it's at.
I think Imperial Dramon's gonna be better than it personally,
Uh,
and do better than it.
I think it's better than Pokemon.
Yeah.
I still think it'll be better than Imperial Dramon, just because I think that Imperial Dramon is going to be inconsistent, especially because right now, the way I have Imperial Dramon built, I have a stupid amount of champions to make it as consistent as I can. And there's so many new option cards and tamers you're going to want to run with all the new stuff that you're going to have to take some of those out. So now they're going to be going back to the old days where it's hard as hell to find one.
Well, also, I don't know, because Imperial is performing really well in JP.
Yeah, I know. And guess what isn't? Pokemon.
You're wrong, David. It's performing just fine.
It's not.
And in BT17, when we get the whole new line of, like, the whole new top end, and we have a whole different OTK, we're doing even better.
This is 16, though.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
16.
We're doing good in 16.
Let's keep on moving. This Phoenix Mine, right?
Yeah. No.
Phoenix Mon.
No balls.
We gotta put that, like, right next to the X antibody. If not, no balls.
If that's Phoenix Mon, then, like, are we wrong about the other bird? Like,
No,
Why
they're
would there
both
be-
Phoenix Mon.
No,
One's
that's
X
definitely the right
antibody.
card, but I don't know if that's meaning
Bro,
for like a different deck. Or...
if the one we've already placed is Phoenix Mon X antibody, then put this in no balls.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yellow vaccine.
Somewhat balling.
I think that it goes in there with the Magnamon X, because that when you say Magnamon X, that's the deck that I think of, and it's also running the Rapidmon X. So
Yeah,
it,
but I think I agree that you can run all that stuff, but I think if they're running Magnamon X, it's going to be considered a Magnamon deck, and if they're running the Rapidmon X's, it's going to be considered a Rapid X deck. I think when we're talking yellow vaccine specifically, like as far as like trying to separate them as different decks, we want to be talking about the Seraphi Mons and the Venus Mons and stuff like that.
Yeah, I actually don't think so.
I don't think anybody's running that next format.
Yeah, no, because let's be honest, Yellow Vaccine's top end has always been trash for a while now. Let's be honest here. Now, their bottom end is what makes it so good. And so when you add like really good top end out of nowhere, that's into it, like, and that's why I think it shows at level 5, right, and not level 6. Again, at the Yellow Vaccine's biggest thing is, Patamon TK. The amount of memory efficiency you get with this deck is fucking wild. And so that's what makes it.
That's why we said somewhat balling.
No, we're talking about. He's talking about like the top end is what makes it. It makes it different. I don't think so. I think the bottom end makes it good.
I'm saying, like, if we're trying to differentiate it, if we're just saying Yellow Vaccine and it can literally be running anything, then it could be big balling because it could just be a different version of Magnamon X.
And that's what I'm thinking it's what. I honestly think that this is going to be like, again, it's going to have having the option, which they're going to run because it's just broken, right? Of running like the best like high end in the format. I mean, and doing it more efficiently than the high end does already. I don't know. I think you're looking at something really good here. With a lot
Think
of removal.
Armor Rush plus Emissary of Hope.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
But
Messenger of
not
Hope.
really.
That's what everyone, anyone like who plays Vaccine, like one of the biggest things the biggest thing in has been talking about is how bad the top end is. And so now you're adding good top end to the deck. I think it's really, really good.
Okay.
I think
I agree.
I
It's
think
really good, but it's not gonna be big ballin'. I think it's somewhat ballin' and closer to the and I think it's below the Rapid X.
yeah, no, I'm saying like I just don't think that just assuming that like because I feel like if I was running Vaccine, but it was my top end was Magnum on X, it would just still be a Magnum on X deck. Like I feel like we have to figure out a way to differentiate.
I agree.
So if we're just talking Vaccine,
Because if you're running
Now,
the
when
Magnum
we're
on
talking
X,
Magnum on X,
you're going to be running more than just the Magnum on X. You're going to be running some of the other stuff, like some of the Rapid mods that are going to
yeah,
have.
but when we're talking about Magnum on
the,
X, I'm thinking we're talking about like the
Armor.
old Magnum from BT8. We're talking about the one from the Bunny structure deck. Like Magnumons are champion.
Yeah, we're talking about the arm. Magnum on X is going to be the armor deck with the new
the
X.
Yes.
Yeah, this
Digimon,
yellow Vaccine
everything
has
like
the
that.
Rapidmon champions.
Yes. It will have the Rapidmon champions.
Yeah.
Because the yellow Vaccine can't run Magnumons. It can run Rapidmon stuff because they're Vaccine, but Magnumons are not Vaccine.
Yeah, but now
Right, but the Magnum on X is Vaccine.
And it has the armor form, I think.
Yeah,
trait,
so if you have
doesn't
an armor, yeah, you just have to have an armor form in it.
Yeah, which I think the new Rapid X does, which will allow you to run the Magnum on X in yellow Vaccine.
Yeah, and yeah, if Orbit had just Rapidmon, and any of the Rapidmons all have the armor trait. Armor form trait. So it's very, very runnable. I think you just go with the high Rapidmon count, and like your entire bottom end is like the you're just going Patamons, and middle way is Rapidmons with your Angelmon splash, and then you're just running, your aces, your good aces, and then you run your high end with this, and you're just calling it it's a Vaccine deck because it runs the TKs and the Karis and the all the DP deletion that you have available with the yellow here.
I think we put yellow Vaccine in somewhat ballin', because I feel like it can be built so many different ways that sure, some builds may be big ballin', but some builds could also be no balls. And because there's no real way to specify exactly what we're talking about, I just don't.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
And what do you think?
Right below Rapid X. Right there.
We have next Numamon.
Numamon is probably going to continue being big ballin', especially with the Valkyrie
Mon
stuff.
Right there. Yep. Right there.
If you're not running Magnum on X or Mirage, I think you need to be running Numamon.
Oh yeah. Mirage is I think more. Yeah, Mirage is better than Numamon.
I think you're running right under. What's this?
And then Digipolice.
Yeah, Digipolice alone with no Brigadramon is trash. Because we've already got a Brigadramon deck. Get Digipolice with no Brigadramon and no balls. And why are they even pretending that's a different deck?
It's really not.
Melga, is at least somewhat ballin'. Yeah.
At the bottom.
Leopardmon, no balls.
Leopardmon, small balls.
I think he's small balls.
He's above Ravemon.
Because that's Leopardmon X. I think he's small balls.
That's fine.
What's this?
I can't tell what that
Edamon.
Edamon.
Oh, the poop deck?
Yeah, right there.
Oh,
Poop deck.
What's this?
All right. Heavy Leomon.
Leomon.
I'd put it in free balling.
Yeah.
Near the top. Near the top.
I'd put it.
I'd put it up there. Yeah, in that area.
Yeah. I'd put it
Below
I'd put it
Bloom for sure.
Below Bloom. Or no, above Bloom. Sorry. That deck kills Bloom.
Yeah,
That
but we're talking about
deck's
like
kinda
good cards and decks in general.
That deck, yeah. Like I feel like because I think Brigade up are all like could be somewhat balling, arguably,
I
honestly.
agree.
So like I think anywhere in there is fine. I think they're all pretty even.
Leviamon. Put it
No
above,
ball,
No
it'd be
ball.
above
dude.
I can see,
Dude, okay, Leviamon was really good until everybody figured out how to beat it. It's not topping anymore.
I could see it in small balling if somebody had a really aggressive
It's gonna
build,
top,
maybe
I
free
just don't
He
balling.
said
know
small
how
balling. Dang.
It's
Bro,
definitely
like
small.
I legit don't think it's somewhat balling anymore, but if it is, it's at the fucking bottom.
I think you're putting in like right
No,
here.
I think no, I think
Yeah,
TCG
Melga
is where
beats
you
it.
had it.
I'm hating
think-
on that garbage. It's trash.
Beat it.
Put it
I
put it
mean-
behind Edamon.
Melga definitely doesn't beat it.
If Melga doesn't beat it, I've never lost to it.
I don't think Melga beats it.
Dude, that's the whole reason anybody ran Melga at Nats is because it beats Anubis Leviamon.
No. It can beat Anubis. There's a difference. There's a big
It
It
can-
beats
can-
them both.
Tyler, it beats the better deck that got restricted. It can't beat the shittier one.
True.
because it does
true.
more popping. This one does more popping than the other one.
Bro, it really isn't that bad because you go up and you do like half your swings at level 5, and so like half of their option cards in the stack just miss you because you're not an even number. They're like, oh, I'll delete a level 4 and a 6, and you're like, cool, I'm a level 5, unsuspend and smack your ass again.
Okay. What is this?
Grace Novamon.
Nova.
What a deck.
Free or small?
So now the question is like, how much is that jamming gonna help it?
It hasn't been performing.
Yeah, I think it's in free balling, but whatever.
No, I mean I
see
can.
it in free.
Yeah, I'm fine with it in free because I do believe that it can do some stupid stuff. Like I've seen it do some stupid stuff, especially with its like memory manipulation and stuff.
I
think
could put it behind Heavy Leomon or Brigade.
No, I could see it behind. I could see it.
I mean, I could see it above Hunters and maybe even Perperial Dramon.
Yeah, it's definitely above in Purple Imperial Dramon.
Y'all
have
sleeping
Imperial
on
Dramon
Purple
way too
Imperial
high.
Dramon though.
Purple Imperial Dramon needs to be at the bottom of that.
Purple
that-
Imperial Dramon may be good with the new stuff, but I want to see it before I claim anything.
I think it's better than. I think it's worse than everything we have in free balling, personally.
Have you seen it with the new stuff though?
I've read the new stuff, and I don't think it helps it a whole lot. I mean, it helps it for sure, a lot, but at the same time, I don't think it's good enough.
I think we get a lot of help with the new Wormmon stuff. Like a lot.
I don't think it's good enough.
Let's continue on here to get these last few done. What's this?
Is that Dorpigmon? I can't tell what that is. What is that?
I can't tell what the hell that is.
I can't tell what that is.
It's a red purple.
Oh, it's red purple.
Is that Proximamon? The
It
Gamamon
might
deck?
be.
If it's Proximamon, put it in no balls.
Yeah, I
Everyone
could
was
see it
so
in
hyped for
small
that
or no.
deck, and then it's done nothing.
That's a for fun deck, bro. For fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a for fun deck.
What's that?
Beelzemon?
Somewhat.
I'd put it in free balling.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. I could definitely see it in somewhat balling, especially if it's in the hands of a good player.
But it's not going to consistently top. Somewhat
Yeah, no,
balling
I
is
agree.
for
I
consistent
agree.
tops. Free balling is for it can top, but more than likely won't.
I agree.
All right,
We're
that's
not gonna
fair.
see a lot of it.
Yeah, put it right there with the rest of the squad that could arguably be somewhat.
Yeah.
And
then
Machine too.
Machine
Machine
Digimon
too.
right there with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Piss everybody off real quick.
Hey, all that
Piss
money
everyone
spent
in
on
the
your
chat
gold
off.
Machine Monster.
Piss everyone in the chat off.
Hey, well, this is it, guys. This is what we're doing. This is what we've done. I'm pretty satisfied. I think David's so crazy for trying to put this not in big balling, but
I think it's somewhat fun.
out of everything,
I think
pretty good.
I think it's below the yellow vaccine.
I think so. I think that Red Hybrid, Rapidmon, and Yellow Vaccine are all three going to be ones that are like could bounce in this, and then also are free balling like from the start all the way to Brigadramon. I feel like ours could possibly be sleeper decks.
I don't know. I definitely am in the fact that I think it's good, and I don't think you can count it out. But I don't see it winning.
I don't know
at
how
all this format.
a deck that just got better, that was already crazy, just got better. Don't understand.
How did it get better?
The
It's not getting
Put
any
your
support.
glasses on, David, so you could see it winning.
Bro, the Ukamon that searches a tamer
Okay, my bad. It did.
is
Get one
ridiculous for it. It's
technically.
like its biggest thing. It's like if it doesn't find its tamers, and you just gave it an Ukamon that you just replaced it with the Ukamon that you just replaced Ukamon you're using that you already want to use anyway. So like, it's not even a little bit. Like that is such a big boost to this deck. It's actually ridiculous because it's just as fast, hatching your egg, but now you can add a Digimon or tamer. So it's ridiculous. Like absolutely dumb.
I think it's a Digimon and Tamer.
No, I want Digimon or tamer.
You looking at it?
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
So I think if you don't think that is just not a busted turbo for this deck that was already fast, I don't know what you're talking. It does at the beginning of the turn, so it's like you can now decide how you're gonna play your out that turn. And doing that 2 times in the course of a game to make sure you have all your tamers on board, it's wild. It's really big for this deck. So yeah, I don't know how you could say that's not wild. But either way, guys, that is.
I mean, I was just gonna read off some of the results for how JP's BT16 did after the ban list of decks. I don't know if you guys care to hear that.
What's the what was on the ban list?
When all that purple got hit, Apoclymon.
Oh. Okay.
So I mean, after Apoclymon got hit, the number one deck that had the most wins was Magnamon Armor. This is just the top 10. It had 37 wins. Imperial Dramon had 30. Rapid Armor had 27. Numemon had 27. Tyrant Kabuterimon apparently had 26 wins. Yellow Vaccine had 26. Fenrir Lugamon had 17. Grace Novamon had 9. Digipolice had 9. And Red Hybrid had 8. Those were the decks that kind of did decent, did well.
Apparently, according to that, we're sleeping on this Kabuterimon deck and Digipolice. And Digipolice,
Yeah.
even though when they say Digipolice, I know for a fact they're talking about Brigadramon and not that dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Tyrant Kabuterimon deck, it is really good.
I guess I just don't know enough about it to really put it anywhere.
Yeah, I know that I played against Jacob using his, but it doesn't have the new stuff. So all I'm going off of is my one match against him with how it is now. And it very well could be immensely better. I just can't say.
Yeah. And unfortunately, this is only like 3 weeks worth of data that I just listed off. Out of their entire BT16 format, they had BT16 for a while. Well, actually, they didn't have it very long, but they had it longer than 3 weeks, and but majority of it was dominated by Apoclymon and people playing Apoclymon and stuff like that. That those purple decks, and once the ban hammer finally hit, other decks were able to come to the light, and people stopped playing those mostly purple decks.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I
in a
definitely
3-week
think
time, this is what happened.
I definitely think that after the format, if we revisited this, we would probably have to move some stuff around. But as just some guessing, I think it's a good list.
I like it.
Well, guys, that's going to be time. As in quite a bit of time. So much for watching. If you enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and tell us what you guys think about the list. Agree with it? Or something that you think? What's your sleeper pick? What are you gonna bring to that? I can tell you what I'm bringing to. I'm not gonna. Yeah, that's all I got. Does anyone else want to say anything?
No, I think that covers it.
Yeah, just tell us what you guys think about the decks, what you think's going to be going on this format. If you think we're wrong on something, let us know your opinion. These are just our opinions, not anything set in stone. Just what we believe is going to be a pretty accurate list for this format.
Yeah, I think that we've covered everything pretty extensively, and like, comment, and subscribe.
All right. Well, with that, guys, good night. Out.